I wore purple in favor of, the bipartisan, flavor that the kids was giving.
I'm gonna need everybody to listen.
In the words of Rolling Way, I wanted to give what it should have gave.
Purr it. Oh my God, there's some tea on that too. So, oh my gosh.
Okay.
So
yeah, we got. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 121 of the BGKH Show. I am Dominion,
and I am Epic.
So the BGKH Show, what is that?
I've been asked this question a couple times before, and I had to explain to the people that the B actually stands for black.
Okay, black.
All of this.
Right.
All of this.
Get into it, honey.
All of this. Skin and all, get into it. Yes. And the G stands for gays. Listen,
gay.
Gay. Right.
Gay for the day.
And K stands for the kinky side, which means we can find kink in just about anything we're looking at. Like we see some glasses, we see some tables, we see some sofas.
Oh yeah, listen.
We see things that you could actually do with them. We see, we see little whips, little things that we could actually work with, extension cords and towels and axes.
No, Mama, no, not extension cords.
We just see stuff. We see it. So that's what kind of makes it kinky. And then the last part, the last letter actually, the H, actually stands for
the humans. Yes.
So that's what the BGKH stands for.
Hey, eccentric. I know you're trying to cut back on sugar. So, let's just do a quick toast. Happy Inauguration Day.
Yes, happy Inauguration Day.
Bitch.
Ting.
Did. When they were talking today, let's just dive into it.
Come on.
Did anything exciting happen in your week?
Baby, listen. Okay, so my week. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes. All right. So
I'm sorry.
We'll come back and do the toast.
Okay.
Because what we do we just talk faster because that then you can get everything into it. Okay.
Yes. Where's everybody at? I'm trying to understand.
I know, right? I know. We see Papa and eccentric.
I mean, we appreciate y'all coming. Can you feel?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new? You get the high kick.
Listen,
so that bitch know you still got it.
I mean, I'm just saying. But it was. Listen. So all right, let's back up. So the week was good. It's very weird because
it was a very weeky week
so far. But but the beginning of this week for me was we were off for Martin Luther King Day, which was great, and I was kind of mad because. Normally, people have been encouraged to do service on Martin Luther King Day, so you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to go and do service. And while you can do service in other ways,
been servicing people, usually on MLK.
Well,
those last services in.
Yes, and that is a function. The community service aspect is a function of MAL.
Yes.
Mid-Atlantic Leather Weekend, always helps out with the service part. I mean, that's just what we do. I mean,
we do provide a service.
We provide a service.
Yeah. Money every fucking MLK weekend.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
For underserved LGBTQ plus charities.
We absolutely do. But this year we weren't able to do that.
Some of us do a lot more to make that happen.
I mean, it just,
and some others, spend their money or they're there. So hallelujah, God bless.
So, but we weren't necessarily able to do that. And actually, it wasn't really going to be, that service wasn't going to be offered this past weekend, but it was going to be offered this coming weekend.
That's what the
inauguration. But we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But the weird part for me was being off on Monday, then being back to work, and then being off today for the inauguration. But other than that, it's been great. I've been trying to stay on top of things.
Yes.
I've been out to a couple functions. I went and got my little COVID test again. So that came back, negative, and I was pretty happy about that. I wanted to say a belated happy birthday to a couple of people. And we talked about this before. So it was Lynx's birthday as well as Spice had a birthday as well. There were several people that had birthdays. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, the AKAs had their Founders Day. Cap Alpha Psi had our Founders Day. Deltas. I mean, it was like Deltas. Yes, Deltas had their Founders Day. I mean, it was a lot of stuff going on. My sister had a birthday. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that went on this past week. So for me, it was a good week. It was a lot of information. And I'm finding out more people. Seems like a lot of people I know their birthdays are in January. Shout out to Spill It Boy, who actually had a birthday as well, January 9th. So it was a good week. So for me, but how was your week?
My week was totally fine. It was not a whole lot going on. This job is starting to annoy me.
Wait. So I'm saying this with love and with no shade at all. starting to annoy you? Baby, when you signed on that dotted line, you knew what the title was and the job was, and also during your training, but you were like,
well, it's worse than that.
okay,
Because I work for the power company. So it's a huge enterprise.
okay.
You know, and like a lot of huge bureaucracies, and you're familiar with this, everybody's only invested in whatever their tiny little piece is,
Baby.
and so like if I tell you, like if so, here's my job.
Hey, bougie girl, yes, we did.
Yes, yes, we did talk about the founders. So my job is to get this big ass rock from here all the way to there.
Mm-hmm.
But I need a bunch of people to help me with that, right?
Okay.
So I asked the first person, and they tell me, "Oh, I can do whatever I need to do to move this rock 1 foot," but they don't tell me that, just beyond the rock, just beyond that 1 foot, there's a steep incline or some other obstacle there. So no one's invested in solving the problem. They only do whatever the fuck it is they got to do. So at least 3 times I've had to figure something out, and someone will be like, "Oh, well, you need to do this." No, I don't need you to tell me what to do for the next step. I'm trying to solve the problem. So it's like having someone bake the cake, but no one tells you that, "Oh, okay, you got to add the eggs," but they tell you only got like 45 minutes to do the whole fucking thing, because if you don't finish putting all the stuff together, get it in the oven, then the whole shit will go apart. They'll just tell you, "Oh, well, I provide the eggs," and that's all they will tell you. And so I'm like, so like this new thing, like I had to issue a contract. This got the wrong number. It's got the wrong facility code on it. Why? Because the bitch that provided the training didn't provide general training. She only provided a copy of her cheat sheet. So what she said, "Oh, this facility number is always 110. No, bitch, it's 110 for the projects you do. But for the rest of our projects, it's 170. But this contract has already been issued to the client. And so now, so now people say, "Well, just cancel it." I was like, no. I need to know what happens
so that you
when
don't do it again.
This.
Right.
So when I cancel this, who do I need to contact? I need to contact the vendor to let him know that, hold on, before you start billing against this new number, because it's about to change. Because if you bill against this new number, this old number is not going to be in the system, and it's going to cause a few more days delay. So here we go. So that's just very very frustrating, and it is not giving what it should have gave.
Purr.
So that's just very frustrating for me. And even like, since I'm a contractor, my position by design is not a permanent employee, but because I'm a contractor, they only give you access to systems as needed. So I go to my manager and be like, "Yeah, I've been having to do this same thing, 3 times." And she's like, "Oh, well, that's not part of your normal thing." Yeah, bitch, but I've had to do it 3 times. So Clint,
it's all right.
So
right.
Listen, let's just keep it very real. We are working at home. I get paid for 8 hours a day to do work that literally takes about 90 minutes a day at most to do. So most of the day I'm sitting here on my sofa. Bitch, my alarm goes off at 8:10 just because. I don't even get up out of the bed until 9:15. Then I come downstairs and log on around 10 o'clock, because I discovered that since I have Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Outlook on my phone, as long as I do some shit on Teams, it shows me it's online. So, and there's literally nothing for me to do. So, but it's still for the 90 minutes that I need to be working, that, this shit is just, and apparently it's taking everyone else much longer than 90 minutes. That's just me. But it's just like, it's frustrating. So it's not giving what it should have gave. Definitely get that on the shirt. It's not giving what it should have gave. And
right.
Gave is have to be Gayve. Giving what it should have gave.
I mean, oh.
So, it's just very frustrating working in that sort of bureaucracy. And another thing, it's always been my pet peeve since I've worked at ICE back in 2004. Hoes who don't respond to email. Here's my thing. If you said, and we've said this before, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but if we're working together, I've never met you or you've never met me, but you send me an email and say, hey, Dominion, I'm trying to get the answer to this question. And I was told, that you're the person that does it. I'm going to do one of three things. I'm going to say, I don't know what this is, and I honestly don't know how to help you. 2, I don't know what this is, but this is the person you should talk to. Or maybe 4 things. 3, here's the answer to your question. Or 4, I don't have time to do it right now, but let's set a time for us to meet up and solve it. I'm not going to answer the question. Right. As I looked at the email today, I was like, this bitch never ever responded to me.
And that burns me up. And then the thing about that is when it gets to that point, you're like, you never responded to me. So there's the thing of like, I sent you an email. It's like, okay, so let me. Hey girl, hey, yes, hi. I sent you an email.
Right.
I did. Yes, I did. I sent it to you on the 13th at 8:02 a.m. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. And you never responded to me. Today is now the 20th, and I haven't got a response from you. And it would have probably taken you 5 minutes to respond, but that's okay. It's all right. But since I got you on the phone, this is what I need.
Right.
Can I call you back in 5 minutes? Well, you know what? When I sent it back to you on the 13th, it was due tomorrow. So if you could let me know what it is now, that would be great, because it'll probably take you 5 minutes to do it.
Right.
But if there's anything you need me to do with you or do for you to help you get the answer quicker, let me know.
There's literally emails that I say, is there anyone? Are you the right person for? But I always say the same things about email. This is what I need. I was referred to you by this person who said that you had the answer.
If you are not
the person that to whom this is, should be directed, say, I'm sorry. And like one dude literally did that. He was like, I'm sorry, I do not know
what this is or how I can help you.
You
might want to try checking with this person, because that's all I know.
Right.
And I'll even take that.
I didn't even, because I was like, well, aren't you isn't this your role? And everybody else say that this is their role. So, okay, but whatever. So yeah, it is not giving what it should have gave.
You know what? I can't stay. Tyra, thank you for that. Somebody, they coming in for a check and benefits.
They are.
They listen for their name, eat their cheese sandwich,
and they do, because
when 7 hours 30 minutes.
When we had these calls on Teams, right? Like whoever's leading the call would be like, "Are there any questions?" And people literally don't say anything. It's not like I used to be like, yeah, I don't have any questions, as an affirmative to say, no, I don't have any questions. When people don't say anything, that says to me that half of them
wasn't even paying attention.
So,
and you sit there like, they're going to have questions afterwards. Like they're going to call you, stop by your desk, do something. It's like, but I talked about this in the meeting.
Right.
Like I just talked about all this.
It just goes to show me that, I probably would be much more. It's a double-edged sword, because if we had been in the office, I would have just dropped by whoever it is desk.
That's how you get most of the shit done. That's how I get most of my shit done.
If I had been in the office, I would lose my shit, because I would have had to be at work on time every day at 8:30 and couldn't leave until 4:30 just to sit around at my desk and pretend to do nothing for 6 hours out of that day. Because again, the work that I do only really takes up a total about 90 minutes during the day, and sometimes even less than that if somebody come by my desk. So if I had to pretend to work all fucking day,
you would find something else to do. But let's not put that out on the airwaves. And listen, Bougie Girl, we got you. We got you once it is created.
Oh, well, yeah, it's going to be on the BGKH Show store, which will be coming soon.
Yes.
So we got a lot to get to. Do you want to just do the slideshow, or do you want to?
So we can jump into that, but hold on, let's jump in. So we're gonna take a minute of that, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about that.
Yes.
So Roland Ray. So Roland Ray had a little accident.
His
wig caught on fire. Honey, Roland Ray's wig came on fire, and he was on Instagram and talked about it live.
His wig or his chair?
His wig caught on fire. His wig caught on fire.
Oh my God. Okay.
Listen,
I thought that was just his general look.
Listen, Roland Ray had this unit installed, and it was a pretty much a.
It wasn't a Michelle Obama.
we don't.
That's right. That's right. We can't. All right. Right.
That wig then caught on fire. I don't know how it did. I don't know if he was trying to light a blunt or something. I don't know what it got next to a candle. I don't know what the fuck it was, but that wig caught on fire. So then he also had his acrylic nails on, and he was trying to put the thing out, and the nails caught on fire, and that thing went up like that, and it went up. He had a piece hanging out overhead.
You saw the video?
He talked about this on his Instagram live, I went through that.
His whole voice, the whole persona annoys me.
It is, but you have to kind of watch him because it's a lot. But then he said afterwards, after everything went on fire, because he was trying to get his friend that was in the other room to throw water on it and to put it out. He said when it finally went out, he said he thought he was fine, and he said he didn't have any damage to his skin. And he said then all of a sudden the skin on the side of his face started like peeling. And so in the video that I saw, he had bandages on his face, and he was talking about it. So I was like, I am glad that you are still here. That is a horrible thing to happen.
Yes.
And I'm whatever comedy you may have brought to some people's lives and even brought to mine when I watch videos of you.
A Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial.
Baby, listen, it was all that. Yes. So I'm hoping for a speedy
I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I find him super annoying, but that's that.
Yeah, speedy recovery. And so we'll definitely deal with that. But now
Drag Race.
Let's get into Drag Race.
I can't even recall what happened. So they had a challenge. The looks were cute enough. Shady part is that for real, a lot of the girls that got eliminated had a lot better looks than the girls that the winner circle or whatever fuck.
You better say what's on my mind.
The girls that got voted off.
You better say what's on my mind.
I was like, okay, these looks are just much better, and they just seem to be a lot more together.
They were
Tanisha, Iman.
So you had Tamisha, Iman, Utica, Kimora Hall, Denali, Rose, and Joey J.
Kimora's not going to make it.
So the challenge was. The first challenge was they had to get dressed and show up for the fashion show, just like they did in the first show. And they had two looks. It was two different versions of a lady. It was like Lady 2021. So they all came out with all these different looks. Well, as they were lined up to get to stage, Miss Kimora, and they were joking about this during the getting ready. In
Chicago, she's known for
being late
5 or 6 hours to get ready.
Like they would say, call time is 10:30. They were like, and they were saying how they were telling, she started getting ready like about 12 noon.
Right.
Because she's just that slow. She's like, I have to talk, I have to do this, I have to do that. I want to make sure all this. And it's like, girl, you paint well, but you don't paint that motherfucking fabulous that it takes you
And they were talking about how beautiful she was. I was like, I didn't think she looked that.
She looks very manly from like the nose down to me.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I mean,
it was not giving what it should have gave.
So I mean, there it is. So there it is.
Right.
But now I will say special shout out to some of the looks. Joey J. So I had one of my pet peeves about people that do drag. Or not people that do drag,
but with the Woody Woodpecker.
Well, yes. When you do drag, it's an illusion. You're creating an illusion of a woman. Now that doesn't. Every woman has a completely different look.
Yeah, a lot of women have short hair.
Some people have short hair. Some people have long hair. But baby, I need you to transform into this woman that you are supposed to be.
And it was like Michelle said, it was cute.
It was cute the first time.
The second time, okay.
The third time,
and the fourth time,
it was like okay, girl.
So you're just not going to do anything to your hair other than to paint your little Woody Woodpecker a different color.
Shout out to,
and if you were at least going to do that, if you gave me a different look,
different look, but it wasn't a different look.
Yeah.
It wasn't a different look. Shout out to Rose for the hand painted outfit and the cute little purse that she turned to the side. You saw the Rose in the back.
Yes.
Shout out to Tamisha Iman, who actually had the same colors on as a first lady.
Yes.
Shout out also to Utica, who had one of the most interesting looks. It was creepy and scary with the hair out to the side.
Now that we have this PowerPoint,
we can do the
picture. We can see them. Yeah, I can't remember all these people.
Okay, so and I pretty much remember what they all had. Denali came out and she had Denali had the blue dress on, the ice blue dress. It was short, it was plain. It had the flowers on it. Then she came back out with she was channeling Moschino from like 2016, 2017 with like the ball gown that was see-through.
Yes,
it was all right. Rose's second look, she came out and it wasn't memorable for me. Joey J, once again, the first look had the fur jacket, and then the second look came out as like the dominatrix.
Right.
It was okay. I mean, like you said, some of these looks,
it was the Muggle version of dominatrix.
Yes.
It was not dominant. It was not giving what it should have gave.
Now, Kimura, her first look in all white.
Yes,
that was real. Like that was real
rich
cute.
White woman.
She gave rich white woman, and I was like, okay. Now I'm noticing that a lot of these fashions this time they are like throwbacks to like 1980s something. Like even
so some of them weren't necessarily creative.
No,
they just put on a nice looking gown from a previous era.
This is true.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of how I felt about a couple of things. But you know, we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So. Who else? Like I said, Utica's look I liked. Tamisha Iman's look was it was pedestrian, but I like the color of it.
Yeah.
And then the second look, I was kind of like, all right, okay, this will kind of work.
I'll allow it.
It's like I'll allow it. Like they were okay. I was cool with that. Now when they got to the mains challenge, which they had to put together. Looks that
exactly a lot of these girls were referencing looks that ain't giving it.
And listen, shout out to he logged in. Shout out to Devon. Listen, he is my fashion consultant because bitch, we was watching stuff today, and I was like, bitch, who is that from? Bitch, what? Listen, he was our media manager for Onyx. Listen, and I always said this. Listen, Devon be on his shit. Thank you so much. Before I forget to shout you out, but bitch, thank you for because bitch, you was shouting them out.
Yes.
But the challenge they had to do stuff. It was the musical, just like they did last. I'm sorry, not the musical. They had to do a verse, just like they did on the last week's show. Special shout out to Kimura for her gown, but her verse was hard.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Special shout out to Tamisha Iman because her verse was okay, but she didn't really give me what the verse was given. She didn't give me what it should have given. Her look was good. But it didn't match Rose had a real good look with the pink. And even Denali had a real good look as well, and her performance was good. So I was good with that. Utica with this 70s Thorgy Thor Crystal Method stringy hair clown look, it actually was cute. And I actually liked it worked well together.
In retrospect, yes. At the
time you were like, what the fuck is this?
So also to me, Thorgy Thor is not a good reference.
But that's what she's in that category.
Yeah, but you know,
Thorgy Thor, she was annoying.
Always had complex feelings about
she was annoying. She was annoying. So then they got to the final look. Now, the final runway look. Okay, Tamisha Iman. All right, let me just be clear. Her gown was nice. Yes. It was very Dynasty, Crystal Carrington walking to a ballroom.
It gave what it should have gave.
But to me, it didn't. Like they were like, "Woo, this is amazing." They were going up.
Yeah, it was not. Like, it was nice, but I wasn't like.
It was okay.
I was not living for it.
No, and I was like, okay. Joey J once again came out without no wig on, giving the same thing that he gave.
Right.
Kimura came out. Her look was good. Her fucking hair. God damn it. She had like. It was like an ombre or like a balayage. It was like black down here, but then blonde, 3 feet up here, and then coming down. And like, so I was like, okay, girl, it was a lot. The final two wound up being, they had to lip sync each other was Denali and Rose.
Right.
And they gave a real good lip sync thing. But again, some of these dips and splits.
And it's just like their little go-to thing.
Yeah, it's like, but why?
You're not even doing a good job of it.
Yeah, like why? Denali won the $5,000 tip, and I was like, all right, cool, fine, whatever.
Right.
But I wasn't really impressed. But I liked their energy, and I liked a lot of the looks better than I did from the first compared to the first group. Yeah. Now next week they're supposed to meet up, and we'll see how that's going to go down when they meet up. So
yes, church banquet, yes,
yeah.
So what else we got to talk about before we get into it? We might as well talk about the inauguration is not a secret, but President Biden picks first transgender person for a Senate confirmed post. So Pennsylvania Health Secretary Rachel Levine is his pick to be the Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services, leaving her poised to become the first openly transgender federal official to be confirmed by the Senate. Mm-hmm. So she's a pediatrician and former Pennsylvania physician general. She was appointed to her current post by Democratic Governor Tom Wolf in 2017. She won past confirmation by the Republican majority Pennsylvania legislature. She's a graduate of Harvard and Tulane Medical University.
The bitch got all the intelligence.
Right. So, according to Anise Parker, who was a former mayor and president and CEO of LGBTQ Victory Institute, said her nomination is groundbreaking and shows the Biden administration will choose the most qualified individual to lead our nation, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. Dr. Levine is making history and will transform Americans' perception of trans people when she takes office and begins to work on their behalf.
So listen, I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations.
Yeah, good for her.
I'm absolutely looking forward to it.
100.
So let's jump into the inauguration. Let's talk
right.
about some of that. So the inauguration of President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and
want to do the fly show
Vice President, sure, and Vice President Kamala Devi Harris.
Apparently it's pronounced Davy.
Is it Davy?
Yeah, because I heard Sonia Sotomayor say Davy, but then that's also what Kamala said.
So it's Davy.
It's
okay,
Davy.
So
even though it's DEVI,
it's Davy.
Pronounced Davy.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Now that I know,
Kamala was just like I'm just not gonna argue with you girls today.
So, but listen, I'm here for all of it. But listen, it was an absolutely amazing event, and I don't know if it's just my old 49 kicking 51 in the ass age self. Kicking 50 in the ass self. But I was all emotional. It was just a lot going on. And I think I was really thinking about the year and the shit that has just happened and the last 4 years of administration under this clown that has left the White House. I was concerned about the nuclear codes and the fact that they had the federal government and all of the Secret Service all referred to it as the football. They would say how they would pass the football off from one president to the next.
Yeah, because I can't.
Listen, and I was concerned because they said there was two of them. They said that he would have one on the plane until he landed and until 12:01, and that at 12:01 Joseph Biden's football set would go into it be activated. So I was happy about that, and I was concerned at the same time. But listen, I was glad of it.
Right.
But listen, so I'm sitting. But can we just paint the scene though? Can we just start with the roll up?
Picture it.
I'm Cicely. Listen, picture it. Sissy sitting in his bed, watching the television, covers up around his neck. I'm sitting there. I'm getting my life and seeing all the motherfucking black Chevrolet Suburbans on the East Coast.
Right.
Pulling up in DC. The door opens and I see this vision of plum
No. We have to. You're jumping ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so
you're jumping ahead.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's start.
All right.
Okay.
So let me get this maximized. So now it's giving full screen.
Okay.
All right. So let's just get into it. So I want to start with the memorial service,
which was amazing.
It was simple, but exactly what it needed because. Two of my uncles died, but I really fuck with my family. But I'm not going to speak ill of them. Whatever happened 20 years ago or whatever. Okay. I certainly don't wish my cousins to be without their father in the way that they died.
Okay.
So, and what they did to me, I mean, I wasn't like robbed or physically assaulted or anything, family shit or whatever. So I feel for that. But, I feel the loss of my Brista Robert in New Jersey, because we had just been talking when I was supposed to move to New Jersey to take that job with United Airlines. And 2 months later, the job didn't happen because we've been talking about, yeah, girl, we don't see each other as much anymore because we stopped traveling as much because he was working and busy. Plus, Rob was a cheap girl and I can't travel. Listen, I love Rob, but everybody didn't know Rob. Rob was the one that when we was going to go when we rented the house in Key West and it was like the 5,000 square foot mansion. Rob was the one was like, oh, well, we can have like 15, 20 people in here. No, girl. That's not it's like, girl, we could put sleeping bags all on the floor. We was like, that's what y'all could do for the rest of the house. But my bedroom and my bathroom is off limits to all of you motherfuckers.
Sounds like somebody else that we know.
Right. So Yes, Rob was cheap, so we hadn't traveled as much, but it was no shade there. We still hung out or saw each other occasionally, and we were making plans to, once I relocated to New Jersey, that we were going to hang out a lot more. Well, that just sort of fell through. Then everything happens, and then I see on my friend Marco's page, who's a fashion designer, like Rob's picture and like a memorial, and I was like, no, please. It was like, and I still feel that it's like that was in May of 2020, and it was like he was murdered. You know, it's like I've had that same. This is like what I imagine that people who have someone who's murdered or someone who's died in a plane crash or suddenly taken from them, and you're just like, there's this hole, and you know, the hole is made worse because there's someone you can blame it on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes things happen, you know, you have a car accident or something, whatever. But when there's someone that you can point to and say, this is your fault. And so I can look at the Trump administration and say, this is your fault. It's your fault that Robert's dead. It's your fault that my two uncles are dead. There are 400,000 people who can point to specific moves that Donald Trump and his anyway. So the memorial was beautiful. It was simple, and there's already been talk of having this become a permanent
because it
absolutely goes.
It's gorgeous.
What's there, and it's beautiful. So this is giving what it should have gave. All right. So this is our friend Eugene,
and his name is Eugene Goodman.
Eugene Goodman is the man, the Capitol Police officer who led the terrorists away from the Senate chamber, likely saving several people their lives.
Vice President Pence being one of them.
Right.
And he was elevated on that day to the number 2 security official for the inaugural event. Yeah. He was as the acting deputy Senate Sergeant at Arms. He was greeted with applause as he appeared in the entranceway, and he was actually there to help with Vice President Kamala's security as well.
So we got to get it right. It's Kamala.
I did say Kamala. Did I?
Kamala. But I did.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to get it together. We're going to get it together. But you know, we charge it. You know, we're just talking fast. That's what I said, we're good. All right. Next, listen. Bernie Sanders, if unbothered. Bernie was a whole ass human being.
Baby, listen, I have to share this with you, and I'll probably post this in the group, but it was a picture that came out. Listen, picture Bernie Sanders in the middle at an HBCU sitting up in the stands as one of the JSET girls.
Yes,
I'm saying he is sitting there like, and just on flank on each side, you have 2 girls like waiting, and the band is revving up, about to play old nasty version of Throw That Ass in a Circle, and Bernie about to bust up and go a badass 5, 6, 8 count of shit. 5, 6, 7, 8. But he is not having it because he is, listen.
Well, so Bernie is giving all of it. I built all of this shit. He's giving very much Little Richard. That was my, no, he's giving back. It all comes back to Jackie Washington. That was my yellow dress. Because obviously, honestly, so many of the points, mortgage relief, student loan relief, you know, all of this grew out of a platform that Bernie Sanders has been fighting for at least the last decade hard. Baby. And before, like, his whole career. And I wanted to point this out that, you know, his mittens were made by Jen Ellis, a teacher from Essex Junction, Vermont. She gave them to him more than 2 years ago. They're made from repurposed wool sweaters and lined with fleece made from recycled plastic bottles. So it's very on trend for him to be wearing that. And I think it is cool, although him sitting there is just really giving, bitch,
listen,
all you hoe. He's giving, I should be up there.
But that's all right, Bernie.
Right. Because he's now the chair.
He's the chairman of the budget.
Yeah.
Chairman of the budget.
Yeah.
So yes and no. It's kind of, they were talking about this before. They were saying like it's more of a figurehead, but he doesn't necessarily have total control. Well, but he's over the budget committee. So I mean, but I'm happy for him.
Right. So this is just a beautiful picture. You know, I said that Dr. Jill and Kamala look like they were in a band.
Baby, listen.
In the best way, that is not no shade at all.
No. But here's the thing. So many of these pictures of the president, the Madam Vice President, as well as the former presidents and first ladies, the men were basically just the jewelry for the women because they were dressed down.
All of them.
Yeah,
I got more. I got Hillary.
So So Vice President Kamala, she is actually wearing a Christopher John Rogers look, who was the designer of the coat as well as the ensemble. And Jill is actually Dr. Jill Biden. She's actually wearing a Swarovski crystal embroidered coat by Alexandra O'Neill of the Marcarian brand. And President Biden is wearing a Ralph Lauren suit, as well as Doug Emhoff, the vice president's husband, or the second gentleman. Yes. So they're styling. Now, the shoes is what got me, because they were matched all the way down to the shoes. Like they were.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I saw
that. I just want to pause and give props to Doug Emhoff, because did you see the article about their love story?
Oh yes.
Basically, one of Kamala's friends set them up on a blind date, and Doug, it was instant for him.
Yep.
So much so that afterwards he emailed her his 4-month availability. He was like, I want you.
Yeah,
I like you. And he said, we ain't getting no younger. We might as well do this. And Kamala said, I did have
stalkerish. Yeah, it was a bit stalkerish.
Because it was a little stalkerish for someone that I had just met. Nice and everything, but I had literally just met this dude, and he was like, oh, okay, well, I'm free every Saturday, and these are the long weekends that I'm available too.
Yes, indeed.
And yeah, that could seem stalkery, but it worked. Listen, shoot your shot.
He shot it, and bitch, it worked.
It worked.
So I'm here for it.
Right. Can you imagine being his ex-wife?
Joe.
And then whatever she, I don't know if they're friendly or not.
And if she's a fed, guess what?
Right.
You report to me and my wife, honey.
Right. Or if whenever they I don't think they probably get into much because their children are grown. Yeah. But like if they had young children, and she says, so she's like, sorry. I'm off to this, thing with my wife, the vice president.
Right.
Yeah. So. All right, so Lady Gaga, this look was not giving what it should have gave to me.
Okay, so
it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't. It just didn't do anything.
It was giving me very much of the Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favor with that big ass pen.
It was like
Elsa. Her name is Elsa Schiaparelli.
Schiaparelli. Okay.
Yeah, Elsa Schiaparelli.
With a gold dove brooch. Excuse me.
I don't even know if I was whelmed.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't.
I don't know what. Now I like the skirt itself and how it's put together and how it looks. It seems inappropriate. Yeah, it's like
it looks like two dresses put together. I felt like it would have been fine for if she was doing
at the inaugural ball.
Beyonce had done, if she was singing at the inaugural ball, but I felt like it didn't match the solemnity
It didn't.
Of the moment. So
it didn't. I agree with you. J-Lo,
bitch. When she came out, I was like, what is she gonna do? Get up there and sing "Let's Get Loud"? And damn it, if that bitch did not.
Bitch, listen, one of my favorite songs by her too, but listen,
yes.
J-Lo we already know J-Lo is, first of all, she's a beautiful woman, she's talented, she's a triple threat.
Yes.
But the bitch was clean as the motherfucking Board of Health. It draped in all Chanel.
Yes.
But listen, I need to get a motherfucking special shout out to this ponytail. J-Lo's ponytail was everything.
Yes. The ponytail was good. But she was definitely whisper singing.
Her rock.
I didn't really know.
Oh my God. When she grabbed the microphone, bitch, I was blinded. I was like, oh my God. But she was clean as shit. So diamonds and pearls, all Chanel, bitch, do it. I'm not mad at you, girl. I'm not mad at you. You sang in Spanish. You hit your song in there. You did a medley of America the Beautiful. And what was the other? She did America the Beautiful and This Land Is Your Land.
Right. Mixed in with a little
J-Lo and Let's Get Loud. And
I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're painted.
A-Rod looked great as well.
He looks very good.
Yeah, he looks real tan. I was like, okay, y'all better do it. Listen, you represent it, girl. You represent it. Because Jenny from the Block is up on the motherfucking inaugural stage.
You know, we can't. And I want to talk a little bit later about the diversity. But it's more than just words. So let me write that down before I forget. Because there's something specific that I want to talk about with diversity. Okay. All right. So who's next?
So up next.
So when she came on screen, I was like, who is this sparkly Amish woman?
Listen.
This is Ella Rose Imhoff,
yes.
one of the second gentleman's children,
yes.
Kamala Harris's stepchildren. Doug Imhoff has 2 or 3 grown children.
Yes.
And these are their kids. And the code bias, it was I put it to you like this. Some of the white commentators were going in on it. And I was just like, here's what it is. The coat was cute. What lost it for me is that white collar. That white collar was not doing it for me.
So when you look at the picture of her, this tartan coat,
and it's the hat. It's not the hat, it's her hair.
It's her hair. First of all, this tartan coat.
Her hair looked wet, like she just got out the shower.
Okay. But her tartan coat by Miu Miu, number one.
Okay, so yeah.
It was with the Swarovski
crystals.
Ugly. Yeah, with the Swarovski crystals on the top. It caught my attention. I could not take my eyes off of it. Yeah. And I was just, and it was not have the same tailored reaction to her, and it fit to her. I was like, come on. Like I enjoyed it. Like it was amazing. And Devon, we were talking about this as well because I couldn't figure out who it was. And he just said update. It was Miu Miu. Yes, this Miu Miu coat was everything. And the collar, that peasant collar, for me, looked good with the coat. Now the dress underneath was very much of like, what was that family that had 17 kids and they all made their own clothes and the peasant dresses them. I can't. The Duggars. It looked like her very much pattern 5162 of sew at home, and they all.
But her whole look gave. And this is so mean, but her whole look gave,
this is a safe space. We can talk about that.
Frump, who was like, girl, you can't. Did you ever see Now Voyager?
I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I'm not.
No, honey, no, bitch. Now Voyager is a movie from the 40s starring Bette Davis.
But I'm sorry. What is the one about Star Trek now? That's what I was thinking of.
Voyager is
okay.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. So no, I didn't see that
Voyager
movie.
Is a movie about a dowdy spinstress who's got this like overbearing mother, and but they're rich and they live in Boston on they're Brahmins. So they send her on this cruise, and she has an affair with a married doctor, and now that she got a.
Did you say Brahmins as like a caste system in India?
Boston Brahmins is like a real thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Education, honey.
No, but within the caste system within India,
I know there are Indian Brahmins.
Right, but
Boston Brahmins is like that whole sort of Mayflower kind of people.
Okay, all right.
Yes. So she goes, she get her pussy ate real good on the, she don't, it's the 40s, so she don't say that. They don't even show them in bed together or whatever. But she clearly had an affair with this married doctor, and she's no longer a virgin.
Okay, all right.
Among other things. So she comes back, and her whole look is transformed.
Okay.
This is the dowdy spinstress. Being asked by the family, like, girl, you could not show up for the inauguration in this dress that you got from Marshall's.
She also said that she's a fashion student at Parsons, number one. She also is known for her knitting and some of her fashion designers and stuff. But she says her look, they were talking about how she's gonna have to compare with some of the other children to come. She said, "Well, my look
she doesn't have to compare, and that's why I felt bad about saying it."
Well, they were saying as far as like fashion, because again, this is kind of something that they've done over the years.
Devon says he gives Harry Potter extra.
Very much so.
It is very that.
But she was saying that her look is so inconsistent that she doesn't know if she said she might try it. She said, but she's not really trying to do that. But I give her credit for her choice with this jacket. I actually liked it.
The jacket, I just couldn't take my eye off of it. Look just didn't work for me. And plus, I was trying to find something to be shady about or whatever. But I was off. That's why I'm reluctant to it, because I feel like.
But I didn't feel the hair as well.
I mean, the fuck. I mean, we didn't hire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be fashion icons.
No, not at all.
And they were born into this, and they're even less connected to it than some other people. Yes. So I hate that. I hope that I kind of feel bad. I kind of wish I had never said it on air because
Well,
I don't want. I mean, because there's people a lot meaner than me. I mean, we got like 120 subscribers.
Well,
shade, but I mean, there are people who have hundreds of thousands of subscribers who will now pick apart everything that she wears and the other girls wear. And while we're talking about this is cute. I don't really give a shit about what any of them do after this.
This is absolutely true because as long as you're not killing anybody, hurting nobody, and you know, right. you do it, live your life,
right?
But you know, I'm still gonna take my time to comment on.
Right, but she did make googly eyes behind Mike Pence's back, which they caught on camera, which I thought was funny.
That was funny.
Now, what I liked about motherfucking Elizabeth Warren was like, girl, I'm not even trying to compete with these kids.
She's like, I'm old.
Right. This is who I am. You know, listen, this is my statement. Planned Parenthood, bitch. Get into it.
Right.
Get into it.
Right. I'm here for it.
Right. That's that. Hillary motherfucking Clinton came through. She got her hair blown out.
Baby, we was talking about how refreshed she looked.
She came through. She was like, hey, fuck you. Hey, and fuck all of you.
She looked so motherfucking refreshed. And this hair was done. It looked right. I was like, okay, come on. I was like, all right. And even her little purple snood, it was cute. Like, I was like, all right, it worked. Bill, at one point I looked at Bill and I said, you know, you look good. But then I looked at him and I was like, but you're aging. Like, I mean, I get it. We all are aging.
He looked old in the 90s. So,
but I mean,
now 30 years later, he's in his late 70s or early 70s.
Early 70s, I think.
Yeah.
But get into it. When they went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, you know, I was laughing because I always say, listen, I don't know this. This is alleged, and not even alleged, but this is my opinion. So it's not fact. After the scandal happened with Bill and Monica, I feel like Hillary was like, I'm stuck with you and I can never divorce you at this particular point. Now, I still love you, but I hate your fucking guts. I'm not going to divorce you. I got shit that I want to do, run for president and everything else, and this is where I am. But I just don't fuck with you. And you know how in a relationship you have people, they keep each other together? Like that wife helps the husband helps the wife. When they were standing by the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Bill turned around, looked at Hillary and he had no gloves on. He was like, I'm a little cold. And Hillary looked at him like, well, bitch, what the fuck you want me to do? And Bill politely put his hand in his coat. I hollered. I was like, that right there is that like our grandparent type of love, that shit. But like, you get on my fucking nerves. Oh yeah, you get on my fucking nerves too, but I love you.
Right.
So shout out, but they look great. I was happy to see them.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about
Amanda Gorman.
Amanda Gorman and some of the shit that was said that came out.
I mean, I don't want to just focus on her looks, but that motherfucking crown that she had on.
Listen, her crown, her jacket, the coloring, the contrast of her skin, and then also her also her Fenty number. I don't know what number it is, what product you want, but girl, you look good.
Right.
You look good, girl. And the words that came out of her mouth.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Amazing. There were two things that were said that I never forgot. Three things actually that were said today that I never forgot. One of which one statement came from her, which she said, what just isn't always justice.
Yes.
And I was like, how fucking amazing is this that you stand up here behind Maya Angelou?
Yes.
And you are still creating a powerful moment in U.S. history.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
So I was here for it.
I loved her. So these are the Biden daughters. I love these.
These are the Biden granddaughters. These are Biden granddaughters. Okay, yes. And I don't know. I couldn't figure out who the coats were. I think one was like Langston. I can't remember. We don't know who they were. Like what the
I just love the coat,
but the contrast
and the fit of them and everything.
Well, young lady in the white, I was kind of pissed off at her because I liked her look. I felt her pants were a little bit too long, like her heel wasn't high enough. Okay. And her coat, if it was open, it wouldn't have looked like it was ill-fitting compared to her sister, which is really fitted and it looks good.
Yes.
But other than that, I thought they looked beautiful. And even
coats like that look best when they come in at the waist.
Come in at the waist.
And they flare a little bit.
They flare
based on whatever your body shape is.
And if you don't have that body shape, then leave it open.
Right.
And put a long scarf around you like Hillary did.
Right.
Because, but
she's built like a box. But
she's a little square bobbish. Mm-hmm. But but they look great.
Now,
okay.
So I'm over here. Here's the TV, right? Here's my office. And then when they say, "Oh, here comes Michelle Obama," I turned and I looked a little bit out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I got up from where I was, and I was like, bitch,
Listen.
she fucking slayed this. She came and said, listen, I am going.
Let's go back. Put our pictures on. We got to. They have to see our face. You have to see all of our faces.
Okay, all right.
Okay, wait. The picture's gonna be there. We got to put our face.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. All right.
Listen.
Yes.
Michelle Obama shut the motherfucking inauguration down. Listen, we got to give a shout out to Michelle Obama and that motherfucking Plum ensemble that was actually, it was made by
two designers.
Yeah, it was Sergio Hudson Plum who did the look, the whole plum look or whatever. Yes. And I think it was originally a jumpsuit. So I'm not sure if hers was still a jumpsuit or if it was a pant and a shirt ensemble. And then we have to also give a shout out to the stylist, Yene Damtu,
bitch,
who worked on her motherfucking hair
bang.
Because she didn't have just a bang yang, she had a bang yang yang.
Yes.
I need you all to understand that the meme that I saw of her getting out the car where she was listen, that it was so fresh that she got out she was in the car with roller sets and shit before she pulled up, and she said, "Stop, wait, don't open the door yet."
Right.
She pulled that shit out. That fucking bang, when it popped out, it was from here like this, and it was like, bitch, what? Bitch, what? Farrah who? Bitch, my name is Michelle Obama, bitch, what?
When I tell you the look was giving what it should have gave.
She shut it down by far.
The way down.
By far. She was my favorite look of the inauguration. And listen, let's not forget about motherfucking former president, my president, Barack Obama. Listen, he looked great. And he was Michelle's jewelry.
Yes.
So we're gonna blend in with, but listen, all that charisma, all that personality was coming through, all this, like everything. Like I feel him smiling, even though I can see that he is, by his eyes squinting, but he was on it. And he was like, he's walking in like, bitch, I know my woman look good. Bitch, she on my arm. Bitch, I know she look good.
You walk with somebody.
I know she look good. Bitch, I'm holding her, but she look good. That's my wife, bitch.
Right.
I'm not mad at y'all at all.
Her eye makeup was, he's like, even with the mask,
everything.
Her whole look was just like every woman there was like,
and the MSNBC newscaster, she was like, here's the president and Michelle walking in, and they're walking, they love him. She's like, wait, Michelle Obama looks absolutely fierce.
It was Joy Reid.
I was like, yes!
Even Big Butch Rachel Maddow was like, the bitch looks good.
Yeah, like, oh my God. I was like,
I was just like, girl, how you go upstage the president?
Oh my goodness.
You upstaged everybody. Wow. And that belt, you can buy that belt right now.
So, but wait,
I went to his website. So the belt is like $285.
So Sergio Hudson Plum, and he's also the winner. Again, that shout out to Devon for this. He's also the winner of the fashion show that Rihanna had. And he was the winner of that particular fashion show. So he's been coming up for a minute. He's married. He has 3 kids. He's from the South, and
he's heterosexual.
Let's not that.
He's married with 3 kids.
He's married with 3 kids. We're gonna leave. I don't know nothing about that. Yeah. So we gonna talk about that. I need to also mention. I'm not sure what other.
It's
okay.
That's.
So listen, I need to give a couple other shout outs. So I saw Cory Booker in the background, and I also saw Rosario Dawson. So shout out to them because I know Rosario was very active. Has been very active, as like a few other celebrities have been very active, and since she's dating Corey or whatever, I don't know what that is, but that's the last I heard. They're seen in public together. Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to someone that was in Kamala's party, Edna Mode. What am I saying?
You keep saying Kamala.
Somebody that was in Kamala's party. It may have been a family member. Edna Mode showed up with the pink coat on and the bob and the glasses.
Oh yes.
Listen, shout out Edna Mode. I love.
Yes.
Listen, I'm here for it. And I also want to give a shout out to the Elite Hooker Force member. Listen, we had some, and that's my own calling of it. They had some wonderful clothes on, but this particular young lady had on this emerald green fur or faux fur coat, but she had this cocktail dress on that was like up to her cunt, and it was down past her navel as far as the. And I was like, "Are you? This is the." She was at. Listen, when they were in the Capitol coming out, she went right past the cameras, and I was like, what does this girl have on? It was like all the way down to here, and I said, "Listen." So I was like, I was making a joke saying she was part of. She was a part of that. You know,
wanted the escort for the date.
Shout out also to Joe Biden as they're walking up to the White House. As he's walking into the gates of the White House to his sexy Asian Secret Service man, because every time Joe Biden went to run over to the crowd, I got nervous as shit. I was like, Uncle Joe, so come on now, don't we run over in the crowd. He went over to speak to Muriel. He also went over to speak to Al Roker. But baby, every time he went over there, sexy Asian Secret Service man was right there behind him, like,
if any of you bitches try it, I will shoot you.
Oh my God. Face. So listen, that little short, sexy Asian Secret Service man, call me. I mean, if you gay, if you single.
Yeah, and Kamala Harris's Secret Service detail is all female.
Listen,
and
once again,
them women look like they could whoop some ass.
I'm here for all of it. So listen. So those are my honorable mentions. And listen. The inauguration was everything for me.
Right.
Listen.
Let me say something to Barack Obama and to Laura Bush. Y'all need to watch George Bush, because George Bush, if he thought he could get away with it, he would shoot his shot.
Yes, he would. And the sad part is, I can't even get mad at Michelle if for some reason that she even entertained it. I can't get mad at him. He was a former president. I mean, come on, it's got to get you somewhere. Like, but you're like, bitch, I'm a former president. Like, bitch, I'm former president of the United States. I'm just saying. I ain't saying you nothing like that, but I'm just saying she got presidents, going after her.
Leave that one there.
I mean,
so the last things, the way a woman styles her hair tells you her mood and what she's thinking. Because 2017, she was like, bitch, let's just get this over with. The look for 2017 was like, girl, when does the plane for Chicago leave?
She's like, I'm ready to go.
All of our shit is packed.
I'm ready to go.
We've numbered all of the boxes.
I'm ready to go.
We don't even really need to. This shit will happen if we aren't here.
Like, I'm ready to go. Why we got to be here? Why we got to be here?
2021 says, bitch,
I'm well rested.
Right.
I'm well rested. I'm back just to show my face.
Right.
And I'm well rested. That's what I am. Mm-hmm. That's what I am.
There you go. Girl, give me a weave ponytail because I don't really want to be here. Versus, girl, it's a happy day for America. Let me show these people that I am still that woman. The whole look.
It was everything. Yeah. I'm continuously enamored, shocked, enamored, and surprised in some of the best ways by Michelle Obama and the looks that she has. Like, I will honestly say that for me, even in the inauguration, her inauguration gown, the one by James Wu, I think it was, or Jason Wu, I wasn't a fan of it.
It was but it didn't slay me the way the girl
like
this slays.
But this slays me. But from that point forward, and especially,
she was still new at that point.
Yes, but especially after she came out of office, or after Barack came out of office, them thigh high boots. Michelle, listen, girl, I'm here for you every day in these looks. Keep slaying the kids, girl. Keep slaying the kids. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
just keep slaying this kid. That's all.
Melanoma had to mess you up at the airport. I didn't even watch.
Did anybody even watch that?
Girl, that shit happened early. I saw pictures of Ivanka and them crying, and I was like, "Yeah, girl," because your own father didn't even give you a pardon, girl. So you are exposed. Listen. He done gave. He said to Ivanka, father-in-law got a pardon, but Ivanka and Jared didn't get a pardon. Trump, Don Jr. didn't get a pardon. Tiffany don't need a pardon. She don't do nothing. And Melania don't need a pardon. She probably don't do nothing. Although, the shade is, Melania was probably in the back doing all kinds of crazy.
Melania was taking the role of any female head of household and orchestrating shit because she knows her kids or she knows the kids around her. That's what she's doing. And I'm not even mad at her. And but
So,
listen, but wait a minute. Did you know that when they got on the plane? Because I didn't watch it either. But did you know when they got on the plane and he walked up the stairs, the song that they were playing in the background was YMCA?
I saw that and I was like, but why though?
How fucking, what sense does that make? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Come on, mesothelioma. Mechalika. So there was a lot. All right. So
you wanted to mention something about diversity?
Oh, I haven't even got to that yet.
Okay.
So, there were a few Negroes at the protest.
Oh my God.
And today,
oh my God,
one of these Negroes got his ass arrested for beating a police officer with a fire hydrant.
Listen,
I was like, girl, there are 5 Negroes. You all stand out in this crowd. You was on TV with your face shown. It's like, I don't have no sympathy for you. I was like, and your boy is gone now. You ain't getting, he gave pardons to fucking Kwame Kilpatrick. Like of all the Negroes.
Kwame Kilpatrick.
But of all the Negroes to give pardons
Lil Wayne, Kodak Black.
Right. But yeah, even them reasonable like
and I can't even
Kilpatrick.
But I can't even get mad at Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. I can't get mad at them because for a rapper to do some shit and you got pardoned by the president, you kind of gangster in the sense of no.
Lil Wayne is dead to me.
Listen, you kind of gangster in the sense of nobody can get you off or get you out of shit except for the president. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying I like him more.
It's almost the equivalent of snitching. Because let's just be clear, he has carried water for Donald Trump on a couple of occasions. So this just wasn't I'm going to commute some random famous Negro. This was like if Ice Cube had done something and he commuted his sentence, or Steve Harvey or some shit. So fuck Lil Wayne. So
all I'm saying is it's kind of gangster because what else can you do?
So that's the black guy got arrested. I was thinking of, they was cleaning, they said they spent $500,000 on deep cleaning the White House, which I was like, you know what? I was like, that motherfucker took a shit in the toilet this morning and didn't flush as he was leaving the house. Cause he's just that kind of a bitch.
He is. I just, My one thing about I want to go back to the gentleman, the one black
got arrested
or turned himself in. Baby, I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I just hope he doesn't turn into the face of this insurrection bullshit. Like he's not that
old
person
boy with the horns is the face of it.
Yes, I hope he is, but I'm just saying. But again, we over the years, shit might people seem to disappear, and there's a whole sob story that's building for him because he only eats organic food, and they're serving him organic food now as he's being held because he wasn't eating.
I'm like, bitch, die.
My whole thing is, bitch, it grows mold. It's organic. Eat it.
Right.
That bread will them 2 pieces of bread and that piece of bologna that's dry, bitch, fuck, and this red Kool-Aid out this gallon jar.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So so fuck all of that. So took a shit. I'm checking off my list.
Okay.
All right. So our president has been very active on his first day. He signed 15 executive orders, which, so here's the thing. Under normal circumstances, he might not have been able to just do so much by executive order.
Yes.
Because that hadn't been the tradition. You just didn't tend to legislate via executive order before. But since so much of what Trump did was done by executive order, it was easy to get these early policy wins by just writing executive orders to cancel that shit.
Yes, indeed.
So, all right. So here's some of the stuff that
I'm here for it.
That he did. All right. So he is requiring, President Biden is requiring the use of masks and social distancing in all federal buildings, on federal lands, and by federal employees and contractors, consistently making masking up as a practice that science has shown to be effective, blah, blah, blah. He is challenging all Americans to wear a mask for the first 100 days of his administration. That's a critical period since communities will still be vulnerable to the virus, even as the pace of vaccines increase in pursuit of Biden's goal of 100 million shots in 100 days. I want to digress for a moment. And I don't know if you might have been on your way over here already, but they televised him swearing in over 1,000 political appointees.
That was the second one.
That motherfucker said,
if I ever catch
you doing some old bullshit, I will fire you
on the spot.
He said on the spot. He didn't say there will be they're political appointees. So political appointees can be, these aren't GS 14s, 15s, or even SESs. These are career appointees. So they can be let go at the will of the president. And I appreciated that he said, listen.
He meant, and he also said something in his speech, which was the second part for me that I took from him was he said, my whole soul is in it.
Yes.
It rang like a bell in me. And I was like, bitch, what?
Yeah.
I'm here. Listen, I'm here. Uncle Joe, I'm here for you. I'm here for you, Uncle Joe. I'm here.
So he will sign an executive order to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord.
I think he did sign that this evening.
Yeah. So this might be just a tiny bit out of date. Yeah. So he's rolling back some Trump mandates. So he signed a temporary moratorium on Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. He's revoking a presidential permit for the Keystone XL pipeline and reviewing a Trump administration freeze on vehicle mileage and emission standards. He's also setting in motion an evaluation of a move to cut boundaries and protections for national monuments. Agencies will be directed to consider the impact of climate change on disadvantaged communities and on future generations from any regulatory actions that affect fossil fuels emissions, which is a new requirement.
Right.
So under immigration, he's ending the ban on Muslim travel.
Yep.
Blah blah blah, yada yada yada, blah
the
blah.
The immediate reunification.
Yeah, the immediate reunification of over 600 families. They said and they're literally going door to door in Central America, trying to relocate, these families. And it may turn out that these people will be given visas to come to, which I think at a minimum, that's what they deserve.
Yeah, I mean, because especially,
I feel like these children should, it's not all about money. No. But these children should have their education paid for at any state school.
Look, I'm fine with that, bitch.
But any state school of their desiring, their parents should, definitely get those visas. Citizenship should be immediately be granted to those children. And oh God, because
it's fucking ridiculous. And especially many of them, when DACA was even put together, many of them fell under the protection of that, which is the thing, which is so contradictory to what actually fucking happened. So yes, I'm agreeing with you.
He's immediately ending the national emergency that Trump declared on the border in February 2018 to divert billions of dollars from the Defense Department to wall construction. He's also halting construction to review contracts and how wall money might be redirected. Despite Trump's promises that Mexico will pay for the wall, U.S. Customs and Border Protection says Americans have committed $15 billion for more than 700 miles of wall construction. It's unclear how many miles are under contract and what penalties the government would have to pay for canceling them. I say pay the penalties because it don't even really do what it's supposed to do. It's not going to really stop people. I really think that those walls, those should be turned into monuments and memorials and parks and things like that.
They can find more constructive things to do with this. Like they can build another housing development. How about that? Build another something, like make it the basis of something on either side.
The idea of illegal immigration is rooted in colorism and racism and xenophobia to begin with.
Yes.
None of those people are coming here and they're not just coming here and sitting around. They're coming here and working their fucking ass off.
Excuse me, was it Trump? Didn't your parent, wasn't he German? Didn't they come here from?
But I'm talking about immigrants from Central America now. They're not, people keep acting like, these immigrants are coming and sitting around. No, they're coming in here and doing the work that Americans don't want to do.
And
earning
the shit out of it, like earning money like nobody's business.
They're not earning a lot of money. Let's just be clear.
They're working like shit, and they are earning. They're
earning money because they're already used to doing without, but they're not being paid anything close to a minimum wage, let alone a fair wage for
that
what
is
they're
correct.
doing.
But they're earning and they're able to fucking survive.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are not necessarily. I'm not gonna say not necessarily part of the welfare system, but many of them are doing very well, working with what they have. Not saying it's great
by contrast to where they are, but they're still below the poverty line.
I am agreeing with you on that. Absolutely.
So Biden will order his cabinet to work to preserve the DACA program.
That is correct, Mr. Tyndall. She was not for play.
No. Deportations. Biden is revoking one of Trump's first executive orders, which declared that all of the roughly 11 million people in this country illegally are considered priorities for deportation. DHS will consider a review of enforcement priorities. The order says nothing about a 100-day moratorium on deportations that Biden promised during the campaign.
He also talked about the student loans.
I'm getting to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, census. So Biden is reversing a Trump plan to exclude people in the country illegally from being counted in the 2020 census legislation. So he's proposing legislation that would grant green cards and a path to citizenship to anyone in the United States before January 1st, 2021, which is an estimated 11 million people. Most would have to wait 8 years for citizenship, but people enrolled in the DACA program and with temporary protection status for fleeing strife-torn countries would only wait 3 years. Other provisions lessen the time that many people have to wait outside the United States for green cards, provide development aid to Central America, and reduce the 1.2 million case backlog in immigration courts. Under student debt, Biden is asking the Education Department to extend a pause on federal student loan payments through at least September 30th.
Eviction.
We're getting to that. He doesn't say anything. There's this. There's a progressive plan. To cancel student debt. So we'll get to that and see where that goes. So the last one that I have here is that there will be housing foreclosures and evictions would be delayed until at least March 31st, 2021. Almost 12% of homeowners with mortgages are late on their payments, while 19% of renters are behind. The federal moratorium would ensure that people could stay in their homes even if they cannot afford their monthly bills. Biden is also calling on Congress to extend assistance to renters. While the moratorium have aided millions and helped contain the disease, they've also meant billions of dollars in housing costs have gone unpaid. So
I am not going to discount. Well, I'm not going to discount. I need to impress upon people. I don't need to impress upon people. He has a lot of shit on his plate. He has a lot of weight on his shoulders. And I am so happy that he has had conversations about these things.
Yeah.
I'll be excited to see what he's actually able to set in motion and actually get done, and how soon it will get done. So, I think his plans or the ideas of these things are great. I just want to see it in motion, and I'm wishing him well, and I hope it gets put into play sooner versus later.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So,
diversity. There's just been you've seen it from the very beginning with his choice of Kamala Harris as his running mate. And I'm skeptical. I'm kind of a negative Nancy, and I was just like, okay, but yeah. So here's my, Accenture says he did see a story of squatters that haven't paid their rent since before the pandemic started, and the landlord can't evict. Well,
so, yeah,
all right. So
I feel like we have facing
we have a larger rent affordability crisis, but when people say cancel rent, or landlords are bad, no,
girl, you can't cancel rent because people
you can't just
people still got mortgages.
We don't live in a kind of world where you can just live places for free.
Yeah.
Rent, I think, should be reasonable.
I think reasonable, and I also think that because of this pandemic, there needs to be some accommodations that are made.
Yeah, but at some point, you should not. Here's my thing: you should not expect that you should live the rest of your life without having to pay.
Oh,
rent
absolutely
somewhere.
not. You have to,
and even if someone catches you up,
yeah.
So or makes you whole, or makes the landlord whole, or whatever. At some point, we're going to get to a point where, girl, if you haven't paid your rent and you don't figure out a way to get the rent paid, then you're going to need to find somewhere else where you can pay the rent.
So for me,
even if it's a public housing authority.
So for me, what I mean by exceptions made. So again, if your rent if it's first and if your rent is due on the 1st and late on the 5th, okay, great. Maybe take away the late fees and then listen, I'm going to extend this until the 30th because if your hours are cut, it may take you longer to get your money in. Okay, great. So you're like, that's what I mean by the exceptions. I'm not saying turn your money away. I mean, not turn your money away. Turn off the fact that you owe money. No, not at all, because everything costs. Electric costs, gas costs, food costs, everything costs.
Right.
But again, there's some exceptions. And sometimes people just need extra time to get their shit in order because other shit have come up. And again, for those people that have been affected by COVID directly or indirectly, whether it was them or a parent, if they can't go to work for 2 weeks, that's income that they may have lost. You know what I mean? So these are the types of exceptions I'm speaking of. But again, you need to pay still.
Right. And lots of landlords, I can't say most because I don't have any numbers to qualify it. So I'll just say lots, and lots doesn't necessarily imply a number.
Right. I agree with you, Eccentric.
But there are lots of landlords who are like Joe Biden called them mom and pop landlords. There's someone who, bought a second property because they were doing halfway decent or whatever, trying to make a little money, trying to build a little nest egg for the family. And, everybody isn't Jared Kushner, who's a slumlord who owns millions of dollars in property that he doesn't take care of. So, yeah, but about diversity, we already talked about how Kamala's security detail is all female. We talked about this transgender woman who's going to be the assistant secretary of Health and Human Services. We talked about the sexy Asian security Secret Service agent. We talked about diversity. There's going to be an all-female White House communication staff. Joe Biden talked about it today. So did the press secretary. Talked about how
who did a great job, by the way.
She did a really good job.
She did a great job.
Because that job, I had to be like, because that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah,
she couldn't have made all that shit up on the fly.
Yeah,
so that she would have had to been drinking from a fire hose to have knowledge of all of those policies and procedures to be able to speak on it. But Joe Biden has made what appears to be on its face a real commitment to racial equity and social justice in a way that even people, I think it's weird that this old white man might be in a position to do some of the things that the first Black president was never able to. And that is not a swipe at all at Barack Obama, because I think the Obama administration never fully recovered from the racism
that he faced.
Yep. I think that is because even though he was a community organizer, because he was so comfortable around white people, that I'm not saying that he felt like he was one of them, but he had this, ridiculous belief that people will ultimately come together around whatever. And maybe that comes from growing up in Hawaii and coming from a multicultural background. Whereas if he had been Barack Hussein Obama from Chicago, he would have come into it knowing that these people weren't going to work with him. They spent 4 years trying to get other people to even meet them halfway when, we just know that wasn't going to happen. Any of us could have told him that, yeah, girl, these girls are not going to meet you halfway. They were, while you were giving that fabulous speech and, Aretha Franklin was sitting there with the hat, they was already meeting, talking about how to disrupt your agenda. So, it sucks that he had to do that, but he still did. He still accomplished healthcare.
Yes,
and he still did a lot. But, what I really hope is that people will give Joe Biden grace.
Yes. Side note, they gave Barack grief up until his last day. And one of the things that probably hurt him a lot was the whole Merrick Garland situation. But baby,
Attorney General Merrick Garland is going to wreck some shit.
I cannot wait to see Merrick do his shit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Papa said Obama had to deal with the concern that everyone would say he was doing things because he was black. Biden wouldn't have that problem. That is also the outgrowth of growing up not always knowing who you are.
That's true.
When you grow up as a person, and I'm not saying that Barack Obama isn't black, but when you grow up as a more multicultural person, if you or I was president, it was like, hell yeah, everything that I do is because I'm black. It goes without saying.
And baby, the thing about people who grow up in that manner, you learn how to play the game where you may not say it, but your actions show everything.
Right.
So again, all the people that I would have appointed, the people that I would have had to come in and entertain, like anything, it would have been like,
and Barack Obama did that, but
I still need to be qualified.
Right.
But is there a black person?
But the thing that, used to gall me about a lot of black people was like, Barack Obama ain't do nothing for black people. And I was like, girl, what do you want him to do? Sign, this is for you, Negro bill?
Child.
I mean, is healthcare not a black issue? He actually sent his Justice Department into places like Ferguson and other places to do this. Did they do everything that they needed to do? Did they win every battle? No. But they started.
They laid the groundwork. Yes.
And maybe Joe Biden is a good successor to that. So we shall see. I am giving. They're saying the right things and doing the right things in these first. It started with the selection of Kamala. And since then, they've been on a path where, okay, I can get behind all of this and I can see the path forward. Exactly. You see black criticism before black praise.
This is true. This happens a lot.
Right. He can only get things done what the Congress let him. And that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Before Donald Trump, the idea that you could just sort of legislate by exec. Now, actually, he did get that from Barack Obama because Barack Obama said, well, if the Congress won't do stuff, then I'm going to start doing stuff by executive order, which, although no one was listening to me, I was always thinking that was a double-edged sword, because once you sort of open the Pandora's box of, the president can just do whatever the fuck he want by executive order, before we even knew that Donald Trump was going to be the next president, other people besides me was saying that the president won't always be someone that you like. So yeah, it's cool that he's doing all this shit that you like now, but the next president might be signing executive orders that you don't like.
But here's the thing also with it. So again, this sounds so corny, I'm going to say this, but with great power comes great responsibility. I don't think, and yes, I like Barack, but I don't think that he was abusive in his
not
power.
At all. But it's not even abusive, it's just the ability to do so.
Right. Compared to 45.
Right.
That was just utter abuse as far as I was concerned.
Right.
So,
but it's so much of it was abuse, but also political animals are going to political.
Well, yeah.
Now that there is an example of, I'm sorry.
What's that that young man, he still spoke when after the Capitol was after the riot, and he wanted to disagree about the electoral votes. He is a young gentleman. He is one. I see his face. Larry, I can't think of his name. He's like a big Republican, not Trump supporter, but he's a part of that Trumpian thought. I'll say I cannot think of his name, but he is also making noise already, and Biden just started. I can't even think of his name right now. God damn it! It'll come to me. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that there are so many things. Are you talking about Josh Hawley?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Eccentric.
Yeah. I said politicians are going to politic.
Yeah.
Now
and he's that one that's trying to politic like a motherfucker and being a political beast.
Right. People
for no reason
have seen that you could do all of these things and sort of get away with it, because in large measure, Donald Trump got away with it. The next person isn't going to be incompetent at it. So, be careful, All right. So we started doing these executive orders. The next person issued a lot of terrible executive orders, is the next authoritarian, because there will be another one. And, will that person be a Democrat? And will we all be like, because it's easy to count, when it looks like you, when it looks like the other person, but when it starts to look like you, so we'll see.
He did less executive orders than both Bush and Clinton.
Okay.
Good to know. But which again goes with
maybe
my thought pattern.
It just seemed to me, and maybe he's a little bit older than us, so he might remember them a little more than I do. But it just seemed like Obama's executive orders were more consequential.
Please give us more sage wisdom.
Sage wisdom of the ages, Papa. Yes. But yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about is, this call for unity. So did you see what's black dude who is the from Morgan State that's always on MSNBC? He was with Nicole Wallace, Jason Jones.
I know who you're talking about.
He's a professor of political science at Morgan State University, and he was on with Nicole Wallace, who I like Nicole Wallace, but she's a little bit.
Hey, Lola, we haven't seen you. Where you been?
I know, right? But I like Nicole Wallace, but she's a little bit like, I can't believe this is America. Whereas Joy Reid and even Rachel Maddow are like, this is America. We have always been this way.
Rachel kind of got on my nerves with the Capitol thing at one point. She kind of said some shit that made me feel uneasy with her and where she stands. And I get it that she was trying to be objective and have journalistic integrity and all that type of shit. But I just felt like I was hearing her lean more so towards something that I didn't like. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the way she said it. It's just something.
All of them were getting on my nerves a little bit until Joy Reid got on there and said, these people are terrorists. And then it was only after Joy Reid was on air and said what she said that day on January 6th, they all started consistently referring to them as terrorists. But Jason Johnson today was, because, Nicole was on her thing about unity and, reaching across the aisle. And Jason was like, how the fuck can I reach across the aisle with someone's what they're opposed to me on is my value as a human being? There is no reaching across the aisle about that. And he didn't put it quite like that. He was really talking about Joe Biden and, how he needed to work with Republicans across the aisle. And he was like, but they don't want that though. So why would you continue to beat your head up against the wall, with these people who, like, they have, look at it. An all-female security detail, a female Black Asian American vice president, an openly gay who's going to bring his gay ass husband to as the Secretary of Treasury, who's going to bring his gay ass husband to every Treasury function, and they're going to be kissing and. I mean, not kissing, but they're going to peck on the lips like everybody other couple.
That's his husband.
There are people for people like you and me, like, okay, so he bought his husband. Who gives a shit?
Right.
There are people who see that as the destruction of America. Yeah. Those people, I don't know that you could ever get common ground with people who see other people's humanity as the thing that is wrong with this country.
Yeah, true. exactly how can James
That listen, I thought that too. Marcus said Jason should be careful or they might bench him again. Yeah, because he Nicole got a little quiet over there because he was getting a little too rah-rah. He was sounding a little too like Malcolm. He was getting a little too Malcolm X-y.
Oh, well,
not really,
but I kind of
he said some shit that I felt that way too, and Joy Reid has said it to a lesser extent. And if you notice, they keep Joy Reid in a very specific box. Like whenever they do these large things, it always seems like Joy Reid. I mean, they always got Nicole. They would usually bring in they got Nicole and Brian Williams, who I'm still like they just this whole motherfucker just lied. And they just gave him a whole ass hour and just made him like, the elder states person of MSNBC. But, so they keep their black talent in a box. So they got the two black people on the weekends.
But her views are the eloquent way to her views express eloquently the thoughts of many of the people that look like her.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think she should be I'd rather her be in a later hour where other people will see her. Because I feel like in the 7:00 hour, people don't get to see her as much.
Well, no, she took what's her name? I thought that they kind of slid everybody up when her show came on. Because it was Chris Matthews. Wait, it was Chris Matthews, then Rachel. Wait, how'd it go? It was 3 people. And she took one of those, she took the 7:00 slot, which is the last slot, which I think Rachel was in before, and they moved her up. I think that's how it went.
Jason Johnson was benched last year for saying Bernie Sanders candidate hires people from the island of misfit black girls. Yeah, he should have. Well, he should have kept that in his mouth.
Well, listen, it's either take him or have that. What's his name? I cannot stand him as well. He sounds like he has a mouthful of shit every time they bring him on to talk about something, and it annoys the shit out of me. Yes, he wears the glasses. He wears the Malcolm X glasses. Light-skinned guy with close haircut. He's always like
on MSNBC.
Yes. He's a guest speaker that they bring on all the time. He was on today, and he has a very deep voice, and he sounds like he has a mouthful of shit and spit when he talks. It just annoys me. His voice is so deep, like Barry White deep. It annoys me. As soon as I see him, I'm like, oh, God,
yeah,
this bitch.
So I am cautiously optimistic about where we are, but Eugene Robinson.
Yes. I hate when Eugene Robinson speaks. He's like,
he does have a gravelly voice. Yeah. They had a cute black guy who was a White House correspondent.
But he's all shaved and shiny and sparkly. I'm like, okay.
We know you like a little rough.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You want someone to give what it should get, what it should have.
What it should have gave. Per.
So I'm last thing I'll say is I'm cautiously optimistic.
I can agree with you on that, and I feel like I'm hopefully optimistic.
Yeah.
I just do
you have a but?
I don't have a but. I'm hopeful. And I think I'm hopeful with question marks.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the way he operates and what we've seen how he operates over the years, and people have such respect for him and such love for him because he's been in the game for so long. But I just don't know if they're going to look at him as Uncle Joe or they're going to look at him as like, get it done, Joe. And there's a certain amount of respect to that. Like, I love Maxine Waters. She will forever be Auntie Maxine. But at this point, people start to look at Maxine like, okay, that's Auntie Maxine. Let her stay over. Let her say we're sure her shit, but we still gonna focus on this.
Yeah, but she is a very effective legislator.
She has been, yes.
Yeah. But the problem is that Congress, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, hasn't really done much of anything over the past 4 years. So all of those skills that, Maxine Waters from the early 2000s and all of that you used to see, you just haven't had those things. And plus, she's 83 years. Maxine is like in her mid 80s.
Listen,
looking good as hell.
She does. So again,
I'm seeing her tonight.
Yeah, I didn't see her at all.
No.
But listen, I just hope this will be. I hope this is the beginning of something new and something refreshing and something that is going an administration and a time a presidency that will show or resemble the public.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Yeah.
So,
what I hope is that Joe Biden will do everything that he says, and regardless, it's not regardless. I want people to continue to be vigilant and hold him,
because the midterm elections are coming up,
Right.
people.
I want them to pick up more seats in the House and the Senate. I want people, all of these people who say, Kamala, which I found no evidence that she was personally. I didn't really see all of this that she was anti-policing or whatever. She was the secretary. She was the attorney general. She was.
Gonna happen. Did we?
Yeah, we still. Oh,
Okay.
That was just something. All right, so we need to wrap it up.
Yeah,
All right. So, so I'm just hoping that, so you ever done the elliptical? So I got an elliptical right here, right? And you pedal on it, and you're like, "Bitch, this is hard as shit. This is hard as shit." And then you like get used to that, and you step it up, and that seems super hard. But then you step back. We're on the step back, so we're still.
Okay.
The last 4 years was just so fucked up that now it just seems like, whew, but we aren't. We're not out of the woods, and I hope we just don't get back to a kinder, gentler racism.
It feels like long-standing bills got paid off, like there will be another bill, but I have more breathing room.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I just hope this isn't, the prelude to a kinder, gentler racism, which is what we've had,
in the past.
So
anyway,
let's roll this beautiful bean footage, and we'll come back.
We'll come right back.
I do need to update that. I mean,
the new picture.
Well, the new picture and other stuff.
Instagram link. Oh, link tree. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. People can't see that.
See what?
They can the screenshot. I mean, they can see it, but
what?
When you put the screenshot in there of the addresses and stuff,
it's a scrolling.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just
and we don't need it anymore.
True.
So it's been a great show. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again next week. And hopefully we won't have to report on the whole world falling the fuck apart.
Hopefully
every week like we did. We're going to try to get together,
keep it light, and
do. I like the PowerPoint presentation. So
that was good.
It would be good to do the side by side, particularly like with Drag Race and other.
Like
stuff
we could. I think that would be good.
The looks and stuff, and so we can give what it should have gave.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank y'all for coming out.
God bless
and good night. Mwah.
After Dark up at 11:30. Stay tuned. Yes, these ankles, but they not ashy though. They're not ashy.